this video, I am going to show you guys 5 different living room designs that you can use in your Minecraft world or in your Minecraft house. And if you don't want to use the entire design, you can also use the little build hacks I have in these neat little living rooms. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Also, if you do like any of these designs, be sure to give the video a like and subscribe because it helps out the channel a ton. And also comment which one might be your favorite while you're at it. So without further ado, let's get into the first design. And the first living room design slash theme that we have here is probably everyone's favorite theme to build in medieval. It's probably one of the easiest and most built designs slash themes out there. So let's break it down to the initial room. Now for the walls, I use barrels for the base of it because it looks pretty structured. It looks pretty sturdy because it has these metal iron rods or whatever around it. And then for the rest, I just used a gradient with the stripped spruce wood and regular spruce planks. And then for the floor is basic oak planks, and then the ceiling is spruce planks, and then we have these beams of dark oak going across. And now the centerpiece of this whole room is the fireplace, of course. In medieval times, you have to stay warm, so we have a fireplace. And this one I just have kind of detailed up with some stairs and stuff. It's kind of made a little fancy design. And then at the top is a moose head, which is what this is. It's the best I could do with 3 blocks. And then in the center of this room, we have this red rug right here. This raggedy rug. And I used a mix of actual wool blocks and red carpet to kind of add some depth to it. And then we have a table here in the center and 2 long chairs. So you can just kind of sit back, relax with other people in your server or something. Or your imaginary friends in your single player world. And then on this wall, we have a kind of hutch thing going on here. Like a little study area, some storage, and then some shelves for some decoration. Now if we have the head data pack or the head plugin on your world, you can add some kind of fancy player head up here. Or if you're just playing vanilla, you can just add whatever you want to up here. A bell or some kind of other item, whatever you can think of. And then over here we have some bookshelves with some empty slots. And then some shelves going off to the side. And then in different places to kind of put some paintings around to kind of brighten up the room to make it look full. And so yeah, that's the medieval living room design. Also under the carpet I have some lighting somewhere here. Yeah, here's some lighting right here. I think I have some, yeah, right here. So if you want to brighten up a room, just kind of hide some lighting underneath the carpet if you have any carpet in there, and it'll light up a room a ton. And for the second living room design, we have this Japanese slash Oriental design going on here. And this one is a living room slash kitchen, so I added a little bit extra here. So yeah, it's not exactly living room, but it's both. So the walls on all of these builds are built to kind of go with the living room, not exactly whatever build you may have. I know every build, every interior is going to be different because you won't have this exact size room. And by the way, all these rooms are 7 by 9, not counting the walls, just to floor space. So if you count the walls, it's like 11 by 9, I believe. 11 by 8 because we don't have this closed in wall right here. But yeah, if you have enough space in your house to do custom walls, do it by all means. But if you don't, you can just kind of just wing it and hopefully this stuff looks good. But yeah, I know all walls are going to be different, so you don't have to use the exact patterns for all these. I just kind of went with whatever went with the theme. So yeah, at the center of our room, we have this little table here, and the seats are on the ground, of course. Kind of fit with the Oriental style. Then we have this green rug kind of going underneath it. But I used the acacia wood, the stripped one, to kind of be the seats. And then we just have acacia trap doors with banners over it to kind of be like a cushion for your back. And then the low table, because you're going to be sitting like crisscross on the floor eating, so gotta be low with you. And over here, there's just kind of like a bench if you want to sit down. And then like a cloth kind of going over it, a little cushion. And over here, we have another hutch. But this is probably my favorite things out of all the builds. So here we have like a study area, a lectern, and then the item frames, the blocks that I thought kind of stuck out, like this enchantment table. Kind of act like as a family heirloom or something. And over here, just a shield again, something that looked cool in the item frame is kind of tucked in there. And then up here, this is where the item frames really come to use. I kind of made this sword, this giant sword being hung up, being held by these dragon heads. And I might be wrong, but I think the dragon heads are the biggest block that kind of pop up in the item frame. If you put like a normal block in there, it's still pretty small. But the dragon heads, I think they stick out the most, and they look the coolest. So I use the look of it with the mouth to kind of act like a hilt for the sword, to hold it up, like a stand. And yeah, the chains don't exactly look like a sword, but it's the closest I could get And then behind this divider that we have here, we have the kitchen. So the regular floor for this place is just spruce planks. And then when we get back here, I kind of used a checkered pattern of the stripped spruce logs. So in the corners, we have some bamboo growing. And then we have these cooking pots. And then I stuck these black stone stuff on it to make it look like it's functional and everything. And then over here we have our sink area with our granite cabinets and stuff. And then we have this little washcloth here to kind of dry your hands or do whatever. And then some more bamboo in the corner. And the rest of the place, again, I put some paintings around because it really livens up your interior, makes it look like it's lived in and decorated well. Now moving on to our third living room, this is a desert themed one. I went for kind of vibrant colors, went for green to go with the cactus and stuff. And I also went for a very open floor plan. Because if you're in the desert, it's going to be hot, so you don't want a bunch of furniture to kind of block the airflow and to make it stuffy in there and sweaty in there. That's a very open floor plan. You can let the air just kind of breeze through wherever you are. If you have a bunch of furniture around, it's going to block up the airflow, so you want an open space. And in the center, we have this big rug here, and I use the glaze. Whoops. I use the glazed terracotta to make a fancy rug pattern, something expensive or something handmade. And then we just have a flower pot right here in the center, along with the little granite table here. And again, I used the enchantment table for some decoration, like a family heirloom or something. And then a cactus, of course. And in the corners, we just have some chairs, some benches, kind of sit in while you just kind of hang out, relax. And then in the far back corner, we have this fancy little flower pot. And then a plant, of course, and bushes. Because in the desert, you don't really have many plants, so you take them for granted. So you have just a big plant in your house. And then I have some curtains kind of on the walls next to the windows in case you want to block up the cold air or something when it gets at nighttime. And then over here we have these little statues here. I used the red sandstone to act as some kind of fancy stand for it, and the anvils to kind of act as the body of the statue. And then wither skeleton skulls because it's the closest thing I could get to match the anvils. And vanilla, of course. But if you're in multiplayer, you can use whatever head you want to. You could even make your custom skin like B-Dubs has done on his series. Yeah, whatever works, you can use any head that you want. Doesn't have to be a wither skeleton skull. But if you have a huge farm, then go ahead, use it by any means. Now on the back here, I just have some shelves with cactus on it. And then for the floor and ceiling, for the floor, I just have basic spruce planks. And the ceiling, I have oak slabs, well, oak planks. And I made these beams kind of going across with some trapdoors and stuff. But yeah, that is it for the desert living room. So let's go on to the next one. So yeah, as you can tell from the very white interior, this is a very modern interior, very sleek interior. Yeah, the walls, they're all white. It's kind of very smooth. Then we have this big window here on the side. And then if you're living in a modern house, you're gonna have an upstairs. It's a fancy balcony, so I made some room for stairs here. So for the floor, I went for a gray kind of wooden look, and I used acacia wood. The acacia planks look like a very gray hardwood floor, so I used that because I like the pattern in it. And then for the rug, I used glazed terracotta again because it has a fancy pattern. So if you want to make a fancy looking rug, just use some terracotta, and then some carpet too, and regular wool. And under the carpet, of course, you can add lighting to hide. So yeah, that helps out a lot. And then we have this fancy couch here that you can kind of sit in, and then have a table here, watch the TV. And for the shop doors that I use for the back of the couch, I used the lever to power them because you can't power them normally because they just kind of lay down. So yeah, if you're gonna do this couch design, make sure you have some space underneath your floor. And then above the TV, we just have this fancy looking lighting set up here above it. It really lights up the room, lights up this wall a ton. And we have some bamboo again because it looks fancy. Then we have our big giant painting here. That's one of the centerpieces on the wall. A neat little trick, if you have a huge painting, it's kind of line up some trapdoors like this, and then put lanterns right underneath it because it doesn't make the painting knock off, and it adds some detail to it. And then tucked in the corner here, we have some plants, some ferns, fancy ferns growing. And I tucked in some more hidden lighting in the back here. And then above the couch, I just have this fancy lighting system here, asymmetrical, of course. It just looks fancy, it looks modern. So yeah, and that is it for the modern interior. Yeah, very sleek, very clean, nothing too chaotic, too messy. Too detailed. Yeah, let's move on to the next one. And the final one is a kind of suburban interior. Very cozy, very neat, clean. So yeah, the centerpiece that we have again is a fireplace. It's kind of made a basic design here, then I put some granite for the tiles in front of the fireplace, and then acacia shop doors to kind of be like the gate thing in front of the fireplace to kind of lock for it. And then up here, I used brick walls to kind of add some depth to the wall. And then back here, I just kind of made space for what could be walkways in your living room, because normally in suburban houses, it's a very open floor plan. it's not closed off or anything, because you want your house to feel spacious, so it'll be very open. And then again, we have another hutch here, like a little study area, some bookshelves, some empty bookshelves, and then I've just put some lanterns here, hanging in front of the painting again, just like in the last room. Then here we have a fancy little table set up here to kind of put decorations on, a plant, a lamp, and then we have our curtains, of course. And then for the table, I use armor stands to kind of hold it up, because I wanted the table to be functional too, to put stuff on. And if you've done anything armor stand related, you know, you can just push stuff around with pistons and you can make it work. In the corners, we have just kind of basic plants, a dead plant and a flower pot to kind of be the roots for the tree. And last but not least, we have the couches in the center and our rug here, of course. I think you have a rug in just about every room that we've kind of looked through. So I use gray concrete powder, light gray concrete powder to be the rug, because it looks like a kind of rug pattern. I don't know, looks soft. And then we have actual carpet too to add some depth and detail with some hidden lighting underneath it, of course. And then for the couch, I just use stairs, kind of basic stairs, rounded it off with some banners kind of underneath it. Now, if you didn't know this, you can put you can put banners down, kind of indented by one, and then you can just place a stair on top of it, and it goes right through the banner. And then now it looks like cushions, so when you sit down, you're gonna be comfortable. But be sure to have some lighting underneath here, because if you just have this as a dark hole, the banners are gonna be pitch black and they're not gonna look good. And then for these corner chairs, they're the same thing, banners to be the cushion. Doesn't work as well because there's a giant gap right here, but it still looks cool. So yeah, that is it for our 5 living room designs, our interior designs. Now if you have any other rooms or builds that you want me to do next, be sure to comment down below, and I'll make sure to get to it. And if you want to see some more building stuff from me, be sure to subscribe, because I'll be posting more build content, of course, because that is the main kind of premise of my channel. That's what I post mainly, building content is what I like to do in Minecraft. So yeah, if you're into building, subscribe, you will enjoy the content. So yeah guys, thanks for checking out the video, and bye bye, stay blessed.